Welcome to another Tuesday night I80 Crossover, except this time it's a threesome, folks. Frankred, host of In the Dungeon. Let me get this graphic going. Frank, we're long overdue. I apologize. This is what a summer of utter inactivity from the Golden State Warriors does to human beings, fries your brain, makes you do things you don't. How have you been, man? It's been too long.
I've been awesome, man, and shout out to you for Golden Daze. I mean, you're really building this channel up, and on the periphery, I steal your information and build my show around it sometimes, and
steal.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, I'm just really proud of what you have been able to create, and it's really a pleasure to be on your channel. And thank you, man. I appreciate it.
We'll do this more often now that we're going to actually have basketball back. Bro, this has been the hardest summer I've ever experienced covering a team. And Mark, how the F are you doing, brother? It's always great to see you, man. Every Tuesday night we're together.
Man, I'm doing well, man. I'm happy to be here, man. We had yesterday was the first day of winter, but it's still hot as hell. But
close enough.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I'm ready for basketball season to get back. We got media day coming up. I'm juiced.
We got a media day coming up, and right now the Warriors have 9 players. Dude, I keep looking at my phone, man, just waiting for this Jonathan Kuminga thing to resolve itself. Training camp's Monday. That means media day's Monday. It's insane that the Warriors right now are holding private camps. And before I press that button to start the show formally, Frank, I'll start with you. How crazy is it that we're this close? We're on the edge, dude. What is your take on this in case you haven't had a chance to publicly express an opinion on the madness?
You know what? I think at the end of the day, it's all going to play out the way it should. If I'm Jonathan Kuminga, I'm not budging. I'm going to get that player option.
Yep.
And from the Warriors' perspective, I mean, if they can do simple mathematics, they know they got to give it to him because they ultimately will trade him. They need a salary slot to get a good player back. And, I mean, they can act like this is calculus. This is not calculus. Nope. I mean, this is real simple.
Yep.
I mean, quietly, they got to respect Kuminga and his agent. I thought the guy was not that sharp, but after I started listening to him and I saw that he had Kuminga's ear, they played this thing about as well as you can play it. They really have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely right, brother. And the Kings, of course, Mark, you covered them. It's been very different, but I feel like it's been similarly frustrating for Kings fans, because I'm guessing if you're a fan of the Sacramento Kings, you wanted more happening this offseason than a Dennis Schroeder free agent signing and acquiring Dario Saric. Did I miss anything in terms of Kings transactions this offseason? I feel like that was it.
And then they grabbed Dennis Schroeder, and they
traded that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that it?
Yeah, that's about it.
God, Dario. So. I feel like our two teams are in the running for the worst offseason imaginable. One team does nothing, literally, outside of trading a second-round pick down to get 2 of them for players we may never see. And the Sacramento Kings, oh, my God, dude. When you look at it on paper, guess what, folks? We got Dennis Schroeder.
Potential future Hall of Famer.
Oh, wait, it gets better. Dario Saric.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hollow clap. I mean, Dennis Schroeder actually is going to bring a little more professionalism to the organization because he don't care, man. He'll get in your ass, man. So, he's a pro, and I think that they're going to be what they are, which is, kind of right there. They're not going to make the playoffs.
But right there in the lottery, totally agreed. Right there in the lottery.
But I like Dennis Schroeder. Think about this. How many players in the history of the NBA have turned $80 million down and lived long enough to get all of the money back?
Yeah,
he did that.
Yeah,
I salute him.
Chef's kiss. You're right. And in case people are unfamiliar with the story, Dennis Schroeder turned down an $80 million contract extension to bet on himself and backfired miserably. I mean, look, that story has been told with a lot of different players. Hell, if Jonathan Kuminga goes with a qualifying offer, that could be his story as well, dude. It's Nerlens Noel's, I feel like, is another classic example of turning the big payday down, betting on yourself, and it backfiring. But you're right. In Dennis Schroeder's case, it was a long grind back. And who knows, maybe that incident was the motivation for him to just keep trugging along. Maybe he gets that contract and just kind of, takes the foot off the gas a little bit and we never hear from him again. Who knows, right? I mean, the paths of life that bring you to where you are now. But Yeah, you're right, brother. Dennis Schroeder deserves more than a golf clap, and he's the Kings' prized offseason acquisition, more than the Warriors could say. But we're doing an NBA preview today. We're doing over-unders, all 30 teams, briefly telling you what these teams did, and if you had to bet on it, what would your bet be? That's what we're going to talk about. Gentlemen, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
The I80 Crossover edition of Bleav in Kings and the Golden Days. Welcome. Happy Tuesday night. This program brought to you by Fanduel, the official sportsbook of the Bleav Network and Golden Days. Frankred joins us. You could follow him on Twitter. I even made a little graphic there at bigfrankred, but maybe more importantly, subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's right there as well. In the Dungeon Show. It's spelled like that, ENTHA, Dungeon Show. Frank, you're a radio legend, dude. You were on the terrestrial side of things. If you're unfamiliar with that term, it just basically means that little dial on your radio. Use the radio signals that go literally in the airwaves to get to your car. That type of radio, KNBR, The Game, that's an example, but even they have digital stuff as well. You were old school, brother, just like me. In radio. Mark, did you ever work in radio, by the way? Like the actual radio?
Not yet. Okay. Maybe that's in the future.
Or maybe not, because radio's dying. But Frank, true. And maybe, who knows, maybe you will. I mean, these legacy media institutions are clinging and hanging around. But Frank, describe real quick your background, dude, because you were once a legend in the radio scene in the Sacramento area, and now you're currently on YouTube with In the Dungeon Show.
Well, man, I appreciate you saying it's kind of funny when I hear it, because I was just doing sports talk radio, had an idea to combine hip-hop music with sports. I'm a rapper, been a rapper for a long period of time, and I think the best thing about that opportunity was I had total autonomy on KHTK. I could do whatever I wanted to do. I got to shout out the great Mike Ramey, who gave me the opportunity. And yeah, man, I had the opportunity to really learn how to be a radio host, and had an opportunity to work with some of the current legends in Sacramento now who've gone to have phenomenal careers and built a lot of fun and lifelong friendships. But, you know, KHTK was a monster station. I took it very seriously. I think that people really respected the fact that I was always prepared. I was content heavy. You know, my music knowledge was on point. I played football and basketball at the D1 level. I played at Fordham. You know, I played in all the pro-ams. I played against all of the top players. So people, I think, you know, respected me because I brought a certain insight to the game. And now it's just really fun, man. I mean, just to see people like yourself ascend to the highest level, starting from nothing and building this incredible platform, get a chance to hang out with my man tonight. I mean, it's great, man. This is a fun business to be in.
Agreed. It is a lot of fun. And obviously nothing's perfect. There's negatives with it as well. I think job security is right at the top of why I'm not going to sit here and push everyone to get into it. It ain't easy, but you got to hustle to make it work. But you're right, man. It's fun. The relationships you build are fascinating. You're experiencing things you probably never would otherwise. And for that alone, if the grind can be worth it. Let's get into it. If you guys want to jump right in so we can just get through this NBA. I can't believe training camps are underway with some teams. I think the New Orleans Pelicans had there were 4 teams today, correct? It was the Pelicans, the Nets. Who else? Do you remember, or do you know?
I don't know. All I remember seeing is Slim Zion. Like shredded some pounds.
And Jordan Poole making comments about Kevon Looney and throwing his Wizards teammates under the bus, saying it's nice to see a real screen for the first time in 2 years. I'm sure if you're a former Wizards teammate, it is. You're like, well, what's that all? Anyway, just so the Pelicans will be interesting. I feel like New Orleans is one of those teams that could be really good or really bad. I mean, on paper, they've got talent, but they've had a problem putting it together. We're going to break it all down. But let's start. We're going to go division by division, and we'll save the Pacific Division for last. In case you're unfamiliar with divisions, because they virtually lost all relevancy in the NBA, they still exist. And if a team wins a division title in the regular season, they're going to hang that banner up there in the rafters. But in terms of the postseason, I don't know what, other than claiming you're a division winner, I don't know what the perk is. I don't think you get home court automatically. I don't think you get a specific placing in the postseason automatically. I don't know what the benefit is anymore to winning a division title other than the banner. Do you guys know?
No, I think it is the banner now.
Yeah, that's it. It's crazy. So here, Degenerate Dad adding that the Knicks had a media day today too. I didn't see anything from them, but that's it. That's a deep team. We'll talk about all of these teams in just a moment. But let's start with the Orlando Magic, because again, we're going to be going in divisional order. This is a team that their big acquisition was the trade they made with the Memphis Grizzlies that brought to them what's his name, the T-Rex arms. Jesus Christ, why am I
Desmond Bane?
Desmond Bane. Yes, thank you, Desmond Bane. 6'5", 215, an amazing three-point shooter. And again, we're talking about the Central Division. Last year, they were 41-41, but they also dealt with a lot of injuries. And Fanduel has their over-under this season at 50.5. That's a high number, man. Anything 50 or above, that means the bookies are looking at you very seriously. Part of this, I think, reflects the Eastern Conference and how weak it is. Frank, I'll start with you, man. Are you betting the over or under on the Orlando Magic, and any thoughts you want to add about that team?
I'm going to say 50 on the dot. I don't know what that is, but I think they're going to win 50 games. That's an under. Okay, I'm going to go on the under then. Yeah,
what do you think, man?
Under.
Yeah, that's why I was going to go with that too. I was going to say 50, I think 50 is doable. When I thought the Magic was a good team. Like, if you take away the injuries and all that, I think they would have been a really good team last season and got closer, to 50. But adding Desmond Bane to the equation, like, he's a guy, Ja and Jaren Jackson got a lot of, the attention and the shine over there in Memphis, but Desmond Bane is a guy that could really play, even with his T-Rex arms.
They and actually, I got all the transactions in front of me now. That's what I was missing before. So they got Desmond Bane. They also signed Tyus Jones, who had a weird season last year. I feel like he could bounce back. They gave contract extensions to Balo Ben-Keto and Mo Wagner. That's Franz's brother. They lost Cole Anthony in that trade with the Grizzlies. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Gary Harris departs in free agency. He went to the Milwaukee Bucks. So, Mark, what was your pick again?
Yeah, I'm going under with 50 even.
All right, I'm going to go over. I think the Magic are due for a really good year. The East is so bad. And again, when you look at the rest of the Southeast Division, which if there's one thing that the divisions do represent, it's a number of games against a certain opponent, because the way the schedule works out, you're going to play all your divisional opponents a total of 4 games. I think within your conference, some are 4, some are 3. Actually, correct me on that. I'm spitballing on that part of it. And then the other conference, you play those teams twice, once at home and once on the road. So I think the division, the value. I think if there's any relevancy to it, it's the schedule. You play all those other teams a guaranteed amount of times. In this case, being 4. So Orlando's going to play the Hornets 4 times, the Wizards 4 times, the Hawks 4 times, and the Miami Heat 4 times. So we'll see what that means. Any final thoughts from you gentlemen on the Orlando Magic?
I think there's going to be some pressure on the coach, which kind of speaks to, I think, their intensity and their desire to maybe go above 50. I think they'll be right around 50, but I think there's going to be some pressure on Jamal this year.
And again, FanDuel, the bookies, they know what they're doing. So the OU 50.5. Mark and Frank bet the under. I bet the over. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks, a team, a lot of like ESPN had a survey recently of 20 scouts, coaches, and executives, and they picked the Hawks as being the offseason winner, largely because of that trade with the Pelicans. The Pelicans gave up the 12th or 13th pick in the draft this year to get a center. I forgot his name. And they gave up an unprotected first-round pick in next year's draft. Stunning trade. Joe Dumars, dude, that might cost him his job after a year, especially if the Pelicans become a lottery team. I mean, could you imagine the Hawks getting like the number 1 pick next year because of this trade? You'd lose your mind if you're in New Orleans. So here's what the Hawks did real fast. They signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker in free agency, a 4-year deal. They added Nefeli Dante. I don't know who that is. They added Luke Kennard. He's a sniper to a 1-year deal. And they acquired Kristaps Porzingis in a 3-team trade. They lost Kobe Buffkin, Clint Capella, Karis LeVert, Terrence Mann, Larry Nance Jr., Georges Niang, and David Roddy. Those are the transactions. Last year, there were 40 and 42. Fanduel has their over-under at, 1 second, gentlemen. Okay, here, the Atlanta Hawks over-under 47.5. That's high for the Hawks especially. Mark, I'll start with you, sir.
Yeah, I'm
47.5. Your thoughts?
Because of the Trae Young, Pat Beverly beef. I thought Pat would, maybe lit a fire and Trae coming into this season, but to get over 47, that's gonna be tough. So I'm gonna have to go to under. I was gonna pick the over at first just because of Pat Bev, but now I'm rolling with the under.
That's a high number, Frank. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna give him 48. I wrote 48 down, and I think because the shot distribution is gonna be a lot different. I think Trae Young is used to having carte blanche and shooting whenever he wants to, and that's not going to be the case anymore. I think he's going to find himself on the bench. He's a good player. He's coming into a situation where he wants an extension, so he's going to play nice. I think Quinn Snyder's going to get an opportunity to really coach his team how he wants to. They're really defensive oriented. Johnson is the best. Jalen Johnson is the best player on the team. He's going to be driving downhill. Porzingis is going to do his thing. I think they're going to surprise and win around 48 games. I don't think they'll get to 50, but I think they'll win 48.
So you're picking the over?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Again, 47.5. I'm going to roll with the under. I'm going with you, Mark. Look, I'm looking at their roster, and this is not a team that has a shitload of talent. I know the East is awful, and the Hawks might get the over just for that reason alone, but I don't have faith in them. When I look at it, who's actually – look, Trae Young – never plays defense, massively lethal offensively. Dyson Daniels is an unbelievable defender. I just don't know if guys like Risa Shea, Okongwu, Guille, if I pronounce that right. Those are guys that they're going to be counting on. I just don't know if that's enough to get. 48 wins is a lot. So 2 unders and an over. We move on. This is how the night's going to be. So hopefully you're learning something about your team. Gentlemen, are we doing okay here? Is this am I moving too slow, too fast? Any thoughts or comments?
We good.
Good? Okay. All right. So the next team, 3 more remaining in the Southeast Division. Let's go with Miami. The Miami Heat last year were 37-45. Warriors fans, you all know that team because of the trade that sent Andrew Wiggins there, got Jimmy Butler back. Here's what Miami did this offseason. They added Simone Fontecchio. Is it Simone or Simon? I can't remember. And I think Simone Fontecchio. Davion Mitchell returned on a 2-year deal. They got Norman Powell. I think that was the move of the offseason from my perspective. They lost Kyle Anderson, who was briefly on the Warriors last year, Haywood Highsmith, Kevin Love, and Duncan Robinson. Those were all gone. 37-45 was the record last year. The Miami Heat, their OU this season, courtesy of Fanduel, 37.5. That's a low number. Frank, what are you betting here?
Over. I think the Jimmy Butler saga controversy cost them probably 5 or 6 wins last year. I think Eric Spoelstra will be able to coach the team, and they'll be able to get back to what their heartbeat is, which is defense. If you play really good defense, you can win half your game. Yeah. So I think they'll be close to a 500 team.
Wow, yeah, so that would definitely be an over. And by the way, Frank, I respect your betting strategy, if you will. I do the same thing. I think of the line first, what I think it should be in my head, and then I see what the line is said by the bookies. And if there's a considerable a gap there, I feel good about my bet, right? Yeah. Because that's what you think it's going to happen. Is that how you roll? Like, are you setting up the OU in your head first, and then you see what the bookie said?
I consider that a little bit, definitely, but I'm a defensive guy, man. I look at, do they play defense or not? That's my thing.
Good strategy. Mark, your thoughts on the Heat?
And didn't correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we get a report about Tyler Hero being hurt or something like that?
Correct. He had a foot injury, but I don't know if that's going to keep him out into the season.
It's let me look that up, right?
Let me look that up real fast. Tyler Hero.
8 weeks. 8 weeks.
And that happened like 2 weeks ago, right? So
yeah.
Oh, but he did have surgery.
Yeah.
So I'm going under. I'm going under. I think the NBA is very important to get good starts. You know, obviously you had those teams that, you know, get it going later on in the season, but just how good, you know, every team, like we're looking at teams that's, you know, that are, when you look at it from a roster standpoint, they're, you know, it's a lot of good teams on paper, but still got to go out there and play the game. And with Tyler Hero being one of your main guys, and then you got to implement them with Norman Powell and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go with the under. I think they go get off to a slow start, but they could be a really good team.
And a Twin Empire in the chat the other night, you were on fire joining us in the live audience, writing that Bam Adebayo, Mr. Asia Wilson, has to take it to another level this season. I agree. I don't think he had a good year last year by his standards, and otherwise a few people in the chat bringing up Heat culture. So Mark, you're betting the over, or
Under.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Under?
Yeah.
Frank, you're over?
Yes.
37, and that's such a low number, dude. I mean, that's Heat culture. That's Pat Spo. I'm going over on that as well. I see the logic of betting the under, but it's Miami. Sometimes you got to look at the history of that organization, who's leading it, to influence your decisions. All right, so two more teams in the Southeast Division, arguably the worst in the NBA. The Charlotte Hornets, one of the most pitiful franchises in the NBA period, maybe in the history of this great game. 19-63 was their record last year. Pathetic by every standard imaginable. Their offseason included re-signing Trey Mann to a 3-year deal. They added Pat Connaughton. They added Spencer Dinwiddie. They added Mason Plumlee. They added Colin Sexton. Translation, that is like just sleeping. They lost Vasily Mitchik. They lost Yusuf Nurkic. They lost Josh Okogie, and they lost Mark Williams. That's your team. The OU for the Charlotte Hornets, courtesy of Fanduel, is 26.5. Oof. Whose turn is it? Mark, what are you betting? The over or the under? 26.5 on Michael Jordan's former team.
I'm going under again, man. I don't think they're getting above 26. I don't see a real roster improvement when you name those guys or whatever, but it's gonna really lie on LaMelo Ball. Like, he's the one guy that can elevate them above, you know, that 26 win threshold, but he would have to be a much more efficient player and a better leader. And when you draft a guy as high as he went, that's what you expect out of him. So I'm going under, but I wouldn't be surprised if LaMelo has, he's putting up the numbers, but a breakout season for me with him would be, equaling some, getting some wins on the board.
Frank, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go under also, and I think it's because they want to trade LaMelo. I don't know if they can trade that contract, but I don't think that they, because if you watch Charlotte during the summer, they balled out. Yeah. They got Con Canopal. They got the kid from UConn. McNeely. With the 29th pick.
Yeah.
Did he look good?
He looked great.
He looked good.
He looked great. So what this team is going to do, they're going to win less than 26 games, but they're going to really galvanize their fan base because they're going to shoot the hell out the ball. And you're going to have some teams roll in there from Atlanta, nice weekend in Atlanta, thinking that they got it. And they're going to shoot lights out some games. So they won't win 26 games, but I think the building blocks of what they want to do structurally and from a coaching perspective is on point. I'm excited to watch this team play. I really am.
And to me, the X factor for this team is Brandon Miller, former number 2 pick, who I feel like every player in the Hornets dealing with injuries, missed most of last season, I believe, at least half. I don't know what his status is, if he's coming back and going to be ready for day one. But I do know I've watched him enough to come to the conclusion he can play. He's a real basketball player. To me, it's a matter of when, not if. But again, the when part of it is important, and I don't know if he's healthy. So this is a bet I would not feel confident about, but I bet the under 2. So all 3 of us bet the under on the Charlotte Hornets, 26.5, which is a very low number to begin with. Rounding out the Southeast Division, the Washington Wizards. Last season, 18-64. They made some moves this offseason. I have it right here in front of me. They re-signed Marvin Bagley the third. It's legitimately shocking to me he's still in the NBA. They added Malachi Branham, Dylan Jones, CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, Blake Wesley, and Cam Whitmore, which is the most fascinating move they made this offseason. To me, they lost Sadiq Bey, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Gill, Rashawn Holmes, Kelly Olynyk, who also was an addition. So I guess they got him and then they traded him. They lost Jordan Poole and they lost Marcus Smart. FanDuel has their over-under at right here. Their OU this season. Ooh, this is probably, I'm guessing this is the lowest of all teams, 21.5. Frank, over-under, your thoughts?
I'm going to go under because I think they're going to win 21 games. But because of the veterans that they have, they're going to be a lot more professional.
Yes.
And I think when you are professional and you listen to your coach, you can win games in the NBA because certain teams come in, they're tired, they have injuries, so I think they'll be right around there. These bookies know what they're doing, man, because they're going to win probably somewhere between 19 and 21 games. I think they'll win 21.
Mark, your thoughts on the Wiz?
Just because I'm hoping to throw some good luck their way, man. I'm going over. I'm going over with them. I think, and I'm not obviously I ain't going too far over, but what was the line? 21?
21.5, yeah.
21. Well, I'm giving them 23. That's why I got them doing this year.
I'm with you. I'm going to roll with you, Mark, and I actually feel good about betting on the over. And there's a couple of reasons. One is the East, and that goes for every East team. That conference is so bad that if you play in it, I feel like you're going to get a few easy wins just automatically. But Cam Whitmore can play basketball. And I feel like he went to the perfect setting where he can be unleashed. He can get minutes. This guy was projected to be a lottery pick, fell to number 20. And the only reason why the Rockets traded him is because the Rockets are arguably the deepest team in the NBA. So they have Cam Whitmore, who we're about to find out if he's the real deal or not. I think his attitude has been the biggest flag in terms of whether or not he can be a team-oriented guy who focuses on the greater good and not just himself. If he can do that, that's massive. And then the Wizards have two other guys that I like a lot. Corey Kispert, he's due for a breakout season. If he's going to be a real player, I feel like this is the year that he's going to step up, and having these veterans around will help the Wizards. But the player that I love on this roster, gentlemen, I love this kid, and I think he's going to be an all-star. I think he's going to be a name in this game for years to come, and that's Alex Sarr. That dude has the makings of something really nice. And so I'm going to go with the over for the Wizards, man. I think this is going to be a year where they can even sniff 30 wins, a type of year like that. Because again, they also got those veterans, man. Having CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, right? So they've got some older heads to kind of keep these guys in check. We've seen that work in years past. Those are my thoughts. Anything you want to add to the Wizards?
I think you nailed it.
Good. All right. How's that vodka, Mark? Is that good? It's do you have any
lemon juice in there? Ladies and gentlemen, this is not vodka. I'm not turning up on a Tuesday night. This is Saratoga water. It's just in a glass. That's all it is.
I love it. And even if it was vodka, I'd support it. All right, let's go to the West. All right. That's your first division down. 5 more of these to go. That is your night, ladies and gentlemen. In the West, we're going to start with the Southwest Division. There is a shitload of good teams in this division. The contrast between East and West, guys, it's astounding. We're going to start with the Houston Rockets, who did just learn, I think, was it today or yesterday, that Fred VanVleet suffered, I believe, a torn ACL during a private workout, I believe, if the information is correct. Very similar to Klay Thompson and what he experienced during a tragedy. When this happens off season, it just sucks. There's no way to spin that. Last year, 52-30, the number 2 seed. The Warriors took them down in 7 games. It should not have been 7 games. I digress. Notable offseason transactions. They've had a few of them. Some people claim they had the best offseason, if not the Atlanta Hawks. The Houston Rockets this offseason re-signed Steven Adams, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green. The Jabari Smith Jr. got a 5-year contract extension. Jay Sean Tate and Fred VanVleet also got new deals. But again, Fred VanVleet out for the year. They added Clint Capella. He's back. J.D. Davidson, Kevin Durant. That is the mega name that they added to the team. Dorian Finney-Smith. That surprised a lot of people. He signed a 4-year deal to join the team as a free agent. And even Josh Okogie joined the team. They lost Dylan Brooks, Nefeli Dante, Jalen Green, Jacques Lindell, and Cam Whitmore. The OU, which I imagine is going to be high, courtesy of Fanduel, 52.5. I will start with you, Frank. What are your thoughts on the Rockets this year?
I'm going to say under. I think they'll win somewhere between 48 and 50, unless KD has a resurgent year where he looks like he's a member of the Golden State Warriors, because where they struggled last year in the regular season and they got better in the playoffs was because of half-court execution, and that was led by Fred VanVleet. And he's not there now. Ime Udoka, as much as I love Reed Shepherd, Ime Udoka really doesn't love him because he don't play defense. So I think they're going to lean more offense this year, and against good teams, they're going to have to really play defense and execute in the half-court against teams like the Warriors. I think they're going to be in a little trouble. If I was them, I don't know if he can still play, but I would invite Pat Bev to camp, man. I would do that.
As a coach?
No, as a player. As somebody who can give you 13 minutes a game. I don't know if he can play, but I would bring him in to see. I watched the highlights of him playing overseas. Obviously at 1 year, he's not going to play more than 15 minutes a game. But him coaching up Holiday and some of those other, even a Reed Shepherd, helping him on defense, playing angles, I would bring him in because that's where they really are going to be deficient against some of the better teams in the Western Conference. It's going to be half-court execution on offense. They lose a lot with Fred being out.
Yeah.
Mark?
No, I'm with you on that. If Fred VanVleet was healthy, I would have picked the over. Because I think this team is that good. I think they're so deep, and then you add Kevin Durant into the picture, and I think we're gonna see another one of those Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors type seasons or whatever. Like, Kevin Durant is one of those guys you could plug in just about anywhere, and he's just a perfect fit. And I think that was gonna take his game to another level, which would have elevated the Houston Rockets a little more, but losing VanVleet, it's like now who's going to be that point guard? Is, like you said, Reed Shepherd, Holiday. That you don't have that same feeling. So I'm going to say under. I think they'll win around 48 games. I think they'll be really, really good because I like, the Thompson. I like both the twins, man. But I think, he's going to have an all-star type year. And I think they'll get around 48, 49 games, but under 52. Oh, we lost you on the sound, Cyrus.
I didn't do that, actually. Sorry about that. My system does that every once in a while on its own. I know I screw up too. I'm gonna push back and say the over. I don't think 52.5 is that high for a team this deep, and I can't emphasize the depth aspect enough, man. This Rockets team is unbelievably stacked. I honestly thought the Fred VanVleet injury was not that detrimental. I don't think Fred VanVleet is someone they need that much. A year ago, yes, because you did not have Kevin Durant. So your top scorer was Jalen Green. You didn't really have like that go-to guy. Alperen Şengün was sort of that dude, but they're so young that they didn't have that veteran to be the man taking that shot at the end when it matters most. Fred VanVleet was the closest thing to that. So if the injury happened last year, I would understand the panic. The fact that they got Kevin Durant, the fact that all these players got a year older, and Frank, I agree with you that that Ime Udoka doesn't value Reed Shepherd's defense. It just makes me wonder, like, why draft this guy in the first place? He was the number 2 pick in the draft just a year ago. I've never really associated Fred VanVleet as being an elite defensive player either. So I don't know if there's like a steep drop off there from a defensive purpose. I want to see Reed Shepherd play. I'm curious, like, is he just a bust? Are we already at that point with this kid? Like, What do you get, Frank? What do you think about Reed Shepherd? Because again, number 2 pick, and a year later, like instead of thinking he's the next man up, we're talking about trades, and that's a flag to me. What do you think?
I love him, and he was putting up 30 pieces in the G League. I mean, every team and their mother tried to trade for the guy, and Houston wouldn't give him up because most teams like him. But Ime Udoka is a different type of coach, and because he's won, and because he has a very clear vision of what he wants to see, he's been on the bench. Reed Shepherd, first of all, Fred VanVleet, as small as he is an excellent defensive player because he's physical. And he doesn't play the name of the player. He plays the opponent. And that's something that you got to have that level of confidence in the NBA. Reed Shepherd is out of position a lot. That's the problem. You can't be out of you can't go through a scouting report 2 days before you play an opponent and then get beat back door. So when you do that on an Ime Udoka team, I mean, he's going to hold you accountable. He holds everybody accountable. So if Reed Shepherd wants to play, he has to be in the right position. If he gets beat, so be it. But you can't get beat back door and be lunging for passes 27 feet from the basket and think you're going to stay in the game. It's not going to happen.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Well, it's going to be – but look, I look at the Rockets, man, and whether it's Tari Eason, whether it's Amen Thompson, whether it's Alperen Sengun, whether it's Kevin Durant, this team is there's a lot here. So if 1 player, 2 players, Jabari Smith Jr., if even 3 players are having an off night, big deal. Right. You have 3 more that can step up. And teams like this where especially the depth is young to accompany some amazing veterans. I see teams like this pulling off 60 wins on a routine basis. That's why I'm leaning strongly with the over here. I feel like the biggest detriment to the over, and maybe it's the reason why it's as low as it is, 52.5, is because they're playing in the West, and it's hard to get wins no matter who you are in a conference this deep. But anyway, so that's the Houston Rockets. We spent way too much time.
So we're going that high on the over. Maybe I'm jumping the gun or whatever, but are you saying this Houston Rockets team is a championship team this year?
Could be. Am I going too far saying that?
I wouldn't say that.
I think they're a contender. Yeah. I mean, do you agree, Mark? Like, do you think they can be a champion this year? I mean, I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me.
I definitely think they'll be in the running. I think they'll be one of the best teams, even with the injury. But I think just with Fred out, I think it's gonna, everybody's mindset all summer was this is how we're gonna look. They might have had private workouts and stuff. So now everything changes, the scheme changed a little bit. And I think it'll be a little adjustment period. But like when you just start naming all those guys, like I forgot about Tari Eason.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of dudes that can play. They have size, they have, youth, they can play any style of basketball that all the best teams in the league can play. So that's what makes them dangerous. Plus, you added the Slim Reaper. That's what makes it scary.
And they're young players. I feel confident in saying they're all just going to get better, especially Amen, dude. Like he could turn into an all-star this year, man. It's interesting to see.
I think so.
Yeah. The next team up in that stacked South West Division are the Memphis Grizzlies. Last year, 48-34. They re-signed Santi Aldama, Jaren Jackson Jr., Cam Spencer, Pat Spencer. Pat Spencer's brother also re-signed with them. They added Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They added my favorite player ever, Ty Jerome, and they added Jacques Lindell, Cole Anthony, Desmond Bane, Jay Huff, Luke Kennard, and Zion Pullen are departures for the Memphis Grizzlies. And Fanduel has the OU on the Memphis Grizzlies set this lower than I thought, 40.5. Mark, I'll start with you, man. 40.5 wins for the Memphis Grizzlies. More than or less than?
I off top, I want to say more. I want to say over. But last year they lost me a bet by like half a game.
Traumatized.
So I'm going under. I'm saying they go win 38 in the West because they were up. I was winning. I was talking trash and everything. Like I thought everything was safe. I was good. And then, they turned into, I don't know what they turned into, because Memphis Grizzlies, when they were healthy, before the injuries, they were one of the top teams in the West. And, I thought they would end up contenders. But they just turned the issues on and off the court, whether it's injuries or, play guns or whatever. That just kind of tore everything apart. So I'm going under. I don't see a change in direction this season. Even though they got my guy Cedric Coward from Fresno, California out there, and Jalen Wells from Sac. So I got them at 38 still.
I like it. So 38's below 40.5. Frank, what do you think?
40.5 is that's their barometer, 40.5.
Correct.
I'm going to say over. And I'm going to say barely, but I'm going to say over. I think they'll win maybe 42, 43 games. And I'm going to say that because they're going to have their offense aesthetically is going to look a lot better than it did last year. They're going to get better shots, which means it's probably going to be less shots for Ja. But I think their coach is an offensive wizard. Their defense won't be as good. They won't be as good. But I think they're going to play pretty good offense. So I got them winning almost half their games.
It was announced, I think, just today that Braxton Key, who played a handful of games for the Warriors last year, was signed by Memphis today. So that's another individual that leaves the Warriors as they're stuck in no man's land with this Jonathan Kuminga standoff. These are some of the players that Memphis does have. And they're another very deep team, man. Like Jalen Wells is undoubtedly going to get a bigger role this year with Desmond Bane no longer on the team. The Ty Jerome edition. Again, I'm not, all kidding aside, I'm not a huge fan of Ty Jerome, but he is valuable for certain roles, certain situations. And I can see him thriving in Memphis as a backup point guard. Scottie Pippen Jr., I think, is going to step up and play a big role. Contavious Caldwell-Pope wouldn't surprise me if he had a comeback year after a very down season a year ago. I like Santi Aldama. I think he's a great player. They still have Jaren Jackson Jr. John Morant's health is going to be a huge wild card. They still have Brandon Clark, who before that Achilles injury a few years ago was on the verge, on the cusp of being a great player, and still might be. He's young. Zach Edey, it's only year 2 for him. Gigi Jackson had some massive games last year. They also have John Concher, who's had nights. I know he's not a consistently good player, but my point is Memphis is deep. And 40.5, I'm going to go over. I feel good about that. That's a low threshold for a team with that much talent. You're basically betting on them to hit the above 500 record. 42-40 would be that. So they can just be 500 and hit the over. Frank, did you say over or under? I forgot. I'm sorry.
I said over.
Okay, so I'm over. You're over. Mark, you're going under.
Yeah, I was under. Yeah.
All right.
Let me give you one more name too. PJ Hall.
Mm-hmm.
PJ Hall, 6'10", kid out of Clemson, played on Denver last year. He's rugged, man. He's an old school center that uses all his fouls. He's a smart player. If they give him a chance and he gets on the floor, he's going to bounce them out a little bit. So they have a lot of talent.
Yes, they do. And this division has a lot of talent because we move on from Memphis and Houston to the not the Denver Nuggets, the Dallas Mavericks. Klay Thompson, who has had an interesting offseason, rolling around with his new woman, playing the part of the guy from Napoleon Dynamite, the brother. If you understand the reference, I'm guessing you're laughing right now. The last year, a season ago, the Dallas Mavericks suffered a lot of injuries. It was a bad year for them. The Luka Doncic trade, which in hindsight, reeks of conspiracy. I mean, until it's proven, who knows? But it's just shitty. I don't know how you can justify Luka going to the Lakers and they get the number 1 pick in an insanely deep draft. It's just reeks. What?
So it's the NBA.
It's the NBA. Well, so Dallas last year was 39-43. They brought back Dante Exum, Kyrie Irving. I don't know when he's going to be healthy. I've read reports it could be mid-season, it could be late season, but he got a 3-year extension. PJ Washington is back. Side note, it sucks to be in a position like PJ's where domestic disputes are being publicized with videos out there. Oh, that's ugly. Nonetheless, I digress. They added D'Angelo Russell in free agency. They added Dennis Smith Jr. That guy's still in the NBA. And they lost Spencer Dinwiddie. But I think the big one for the Mavericks was getting Cooper Flagg, the #1 pick in the NBA draft. The OU, courtesy of Fanduel, 41.5. That seems low to me. Frank, I'll start with you. The Dallas Mavericks, are they going to be above 500 or below?
Definitely above 500. I mean, they'll be one of the best defensive teams. I think J. Kidd would bring that out of them. If you play really, I mean, I don't know the stats like you do, but I would say if you are a top 10 defensive team and you're top 20 in offense, you're going to win half your games. So, they'll be top 10 in defense because of J. Kidd and his coaching staff. So I got them over.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Frank. I'm on the over. And excuse my daughter in the background.
Oh, I can't hear it, so you're good. I can't hear anything.
But yeah, I got them going over.
I hear her now. What is she doing? What's your girl doing?
She's just having a fit. It's my youngest. Yeah, she's probably ready for me.
Family-friendly program. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But I'm going over the addition of Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg is going to have a Rookie of the Year type season, and I think not because he's. I do think he's really good, but I think he's going to be in a really good situation to where he could succeed, and it's not really a lot of pressure on him. And then you have Anthony Davis, you have PJ, all those guys that's going to be like great mentors to him, and I think the culture is going to, grow over there. When they lost Luka, obviously it looked bad, because he's such a polarizing figure. But when you really look at that team or whatever, especially if you look at them healthy, obviously you got to get Kyrie Irving back. But when you look at them healthy, they brought in D'Angelo Russell to kind of buffer Kyrie's injury or whatever. They'll easily get over 41. That's not going to be a problem.
Is this the first OU where all three of us have agreed on the same over and under? I think it is, because I'm also picking the over. That seems like a safe bet. It is weird to me that Cooper Flagg has all this hype, and at least last I checked, I don't know if he celebrated his birthday recently, but I think he's still 18, which is insane. That is so young. Like, that's a kid, man. And he might already take the NBA by storm and win Rookie of the Year. I'm trying to find it right now to see if I can see what his birthday is. I think he's still 18. If not, he turned 19 recently. Anyways, next up are the San Antonio Spurs, which just goes off, how deep this division is. And I'm also starting to realize we should probably make this a two-parter for this show, because it's going to take us well over an hour just to get through halfway of this. So let's do 3 divisions. We'll pick up the rest next week. Is that cool with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we can pace ourselves a little better here. All right. So the San Antonio Spurs a year ago finished the season 34-48, which I think was an underachievement by their standards, by anyone's standards. But it happened largely because of Victor Wembanyama's injury, a blood clot, which is never always serious. So he missed a big chunk of the season. The Spurs struggle. There's no long-term ramifications for that because they end up getting the #2 pick in the draft. Dylan Harper, Ron Harper's kid, which to me is fascinating. I mean, if you're old enough to remember Ron Harper, he was part of that Bulls dynasty, and he was a damn good player. Like, he was a free agent acquisition for the second part of the dynasty, the second 3 championships. And I remember when they got him, I thought it was just unfair. I was like, the Bulls got Ron Harper? Like, that was insane. And anyways, so Ron Harper's kid, Dylan, was the prize free agent acquisition. Or I'm sorry, the prized NBA draft pick. They also made the trade last year for De'Aaron Fox. Jordan McLaughlin comes back on a 1-year deal. Bismack Biyombo is still in the NBA, incredibly. I think he's turning 38 this year. The Spurs brought him in for a 1-year deal. The Spurs also added Luke Cornett, signed him to a 4-year contract. Kelly Olynyk they acquired him this offseason. Lindy Waters III, briefly with the Warriors last year. He's with the Spurs. They lost Malachi Branham. They lost Sandro I did not prepare for this. Mamu Kelavishi, I think. Mamu Kelavisi. Anyways, Chris Paul they lost. I think Chris Paul is back with the Clippers, and Blake Wesley also a departure. The OU for the San Antonio Spurs this year, 45.5. It's pretty high, but also makes sense. Mark, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the Spurs, and are they going to go over or under 45.5?
I know, once it's all said and done, we look at how many people we saying go win 50 games. That ain't gonna be possible. But if I just had to pick just off of talent and the way this roster is put together and how good Victor Wembanyama is, and I expect him to be this season, I think they're going to be over. I think the few games we've seen with him and De'Aaron Fox, they looked really good. I could see that, chemistry just growing. I really like Dylan Harper. I think he's going to have a really good year for them as well. But I'm going with the over on that. Over
of 45.5. Frank, your thoughts?
I think 45 is going to be the max. So I'm going to go under.
Under, okay.
I think they're going to struggle without Chris Paul. I mean, Dylan Harper has had some challenges with his wrist, so he's kind of getting off to a slow start. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be hesitant to put him out there in the starting lineup and put the ball in his hand because they have De'Aaron Fox, have extended him. De'Aaron Fox is not a great half-court executor, facilitator. He's a really good player, but I think that's an issue. It's going to take him some time. Next year, I think they'll get there. And they don't have enough nasty guys. They got good players, but they need some nasty guys. I mean, you put Draymond Green on that team, and
no, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, a Draymond Green type of player, they need that, and they don't have that. So I think,
Frank, I think Keldon Johnson would be the closest thing to it.
Yeah, and he's not somebody who people are going to look at and go,
No.
I mean, the bet's not worried about Keldon Johnson. He's a good player, but they're not worried about him.
Actually, I got a better name for you than Keldon Johnson for who could fit that Draymond role. Harrison Barnes.
Harrison's tough.
He is, yeah.
He's just quiet.
Yeah,
he's just quiet.
Exactly.
He's tough,
exactly. And again, he's deadly with his silence, as evident by the fact that he made it very clear he does not like Draymond Green because he didn't invite him to his wedding. So didn't need words to send a message there. These are some of the players on the Spurs, just to round this off, just to paint a more complete picture. Steven Castle. Is it Steven? I think it is. I love this guy, man. There's a damn good reason they did not trade him this offseason, even though a lot of teams wanted to acquire him. A couple other names worth mentioning: Devin Vasily, Champagny, and I mentioned Harrison Barnes. So yeah, so they're deep. 45.5 is a tough one. Mark, you said over, right?
I said over.
And Frank, you said under?
Yes.
I'm going to lean under, but that's a damn tough one. And I'm going to say under largely because I think this team's still 1 year away from making the run. I don't think they're there yet. A lot of really young pieces, man. You need a Wembanyama to be healthy for a full year. Right. Yeah, the new coach. Who took over formally for Pop? Is it the same dude as the guy a year ago?
Yes.
Yep.
Mitch Johnson.
Mitch Johnson. Do you like him?
He's a smart guy, man. I mean, he's a coach for a reason. I think when they broke him down and he started diagramming plays when nobody was watching, he went to Stanford, so he has a good analytical mind. He's not in all the players. I think he was a surprising hire, but they don't make mistakes, man. I mean, they think they put you through that analytical web, and if you come out roses, then they respect it. So I think he's probably, from a mental standpoint, definitely legitimate.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And I meant to say Devin Vassell. Thank you, Mike Weisberg, for the correction. One more team in the division. We got 5 more teams after that. We'll wrap up the night. Gentlemen, thank you. This is fun, but it's also a bit of work. So I appreciate all of you doing this. Rounding out the Southwest Division are the New Orleans Pelicans, one of the most fascinating teams in the NBA. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, Zion Williamson showing up to camp thin. He looks good. He's got that Luka Doncic physique. They both cut out the cheeseburgers this offseason, probably cut out the beer as well. But the Pelicans, the moves they made this offseason, there was a lot of them. Let me pull that up in front of me. I lost my spot. Here it is. They re-signed Herb Jones, gave him a 3-year extension. They added Sadiq Bey. They added Kevon Looney. took him from the Golden State Warriors. They traded for Jordan Poole, so 2 former prominent Golden State Warriors on this team. They lost Bruce Brown, who went to the Nuggets. They traded away CJ McCollum, and they lost Kelly Olynyk. They won 21 games a year ago. FanDuel has their line set at 30.5. That makes sense. Frank, we'll start with you. I think I have the order correct. Your thoughts on the Pelicans, over or under?
I'm going to say over if Zion is healthy, because they got so much talent. Fears, I love Jamario Fears. I think he could be a top flight player. Joe Dumars, despite what people think of some of his moves, I think he is a leader. He's from that area. He's going to have a tight rein on those guys. I think they'll win 30 games. I do.
Joe Dumars is an interesting one, Frank, because he used to be the GM of the Pistons, and they did win a championship under his leadership as an executive. Never mind as a player. But then look, for all the good stuff he's done, you also have a lot of negatives, right? Like he passed up Carmelo Anthony for Darko Milicic, and that, look, to this day, that's one of the all-time like whiffs. I feel for Pistons fans who are old enough to remember that. That would still hurt me in my stomach, and I have no emotional attachment to Detroit. That sucks. Although I think Ben Wallace came out just the other day and said, had the Pistons done that, they might not have won a championship because Carmelo would have had to have been integrated and would have needed more possessions, needed the ball in his hands more. So he spinned it as that was a good thing. I mean, look, nice spin. I still look. You get Carmelo. I think you're getting 3 or 4 championships with that team, but I digress. So the Pelicans. I'm sorry to have interrupted you. I think you were still talking, right? Did I do that? I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
No.
Mark, then your turn. Over or under 30.5?
You know, it's all about health. If they're healthy, if Zion's healthy, and same with Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, they've had. I think Trey missed a chunk in the beginning of the season. Herb was throughout the middle, towards the end, and we know Zion. But if those guys are healthy, you bring in like Jordan Poole, you got Kevon Looney, championship DNA. I think this team can win. I think they can get above 30. I'm going over as long as they're healthy. But I'm betting on the over.
Was Jeremiah Fears the one they traded? No, that wasn't the one they traded for.
No, they traded this kid from Maryland. His name is it Wynn or Eden or something like that. And I'm telling you something. Queen. Yeah, Queen. Yeah, I mean, like I heard that narrative. I mean, it was kind of a gutsy move, but listen, this dude is a player. I mean, he's not a real good defensive player, but he can score. This kid, when he gets healthy, he's gonna be good.
It's one of those things, Frank, where if a year from now the Atlanta Hawks are celebrating having the top pick or a top 3 pick in one of the deepest drafts that people say in NBA history, that's going to be an ugly look splattered over Dumar's face, right? Especially if this kid Queens does not end up being a really good player. I mean, on the only kid in next year's draft that I'm like, wow, is AJ DeBonza, the kids at Brigham Young. Now, if they had a number 1 pick and they draft him, then that's a big story. But outside of that kid, it's a conversation. Interesting. It is a conversation. And again, if there's one thing I defer to others on is prospects. I don't study the college game enough to pretend I'm an expert on that. Here's who's on this team, right? They have some interesting names. And side note, I feel like the perfect Kuminga trade, if the Warriors go that route, is trading for Trey Murphy III. I also don't know if the Pelicans would consider trading him, right? I mean, we have no idea what Dumars feels about that specific individual, but if the Warriors can get him, Trey Murphy III, do it. If it's going to cost you Kuminga, Moody, and Podziemski, do it. Do you guys agree with that sentiment? Frank, I'll start with you. Like, I think that would be the perfect Jonathan Kuminga trade. I also don't know if the Pelicans would agree to it. What do you think?
I think the Warriors would probably do it, but I mean, Trey Murphy has a ceiling to me. I mean, he's a good player, but I love Kuminga. I mean, Kuminga is exciting to me. And I don't know, culturally he would work in New Orleans. There's a lot of distractions, but in the right, like a Kuminga was in Chicago, he averaged 20 a game. He averaged. So I think it's geography, Trey Murphy, to me, he's a streak 3-point shooter. He's not a real good ball handler. He's kind of skinny. I mean, he's a good player, but Kuminga could be somebody who you beg your parents to go see.
Yes.
That's not Troy Murphy III. So
I say that under the premise of factoring Steve Kerr into all this, factoring Kuminga's happiness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree with you. I think if I'm running a team, Kuminga's my guy, and we at least see what the hell he can do with real minutes. But with this current climate, that's why I bring up Trey Murphy. Mark, what do you think? Is that a trade that you think the Pelicans would consider, or is Trey Murphy way too valuable to trade for Kuminga and Moses Moody?
I think you have to consider it if it's on the table. I think you have to consider it, given that what people think Jonathan Kuminga can be. He's a dude. I do think he's one of those guys that can average 20 plus. Trey Murphy averaged, I think, 21 last season for the Pelicans, and if you put him in a offense with Steph Curry and all those guys or whatever, I think he fits a lot better than Kuminga fits over there. So I think it'll be just like Frank said, with if that swap were to happen, how would Kuminga look in New Orleans? It's not necessarily a Kuminga versus Trey Murphy thing, but it's how would he look there? Would it make sense sticking him next to Zion? Because now, what position are you playing? Even though I think he's athletic enough and has the size to do all kind of things, but ultimately, what you want Kuminga to do? Because I think he is a guy that you build around, and if you put him next to Zion, now you back in the same situation of when you like whose team is this? Whose team is it going to be? So but if it happened, I think Trey looks really, really good in a Golden State Warriors jersey, and we would have to figure out what Kuminga is. And I think he'll be in a similar situation now where he's still trying to prove I'm that guy.
Right.
Mark, let me get this in. You talk to a lot more people than I do, being a voice up in Sac. Sac would love Kuminga. Mm-hmm. They would love him.
Yeah.
And Scott Perry is a guy who loves basketball. I mean, Doug Christie's not experienced enough to try to overcoach him. They would let him go. He would galvanize that market. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine him and Keegan playing together, just running up and down the court? They want Kuminga in Sacramento. He would be a big time hit there. He really would.
No, absolutely. I think that's when I look at the landscape, I think this is the perfect place for Jonathan Kuminga. And I think this is a team that would give him the keys to the city and say, yo, this do your thing. His agent said, BJ Armstrong told him, we love you for you. We want you to come here and be who you are. Right. And I think that's all really Kuminga wants. And I think giving him, that type of power and that type of confidence, I think you'll see something special out of him.
And then June Adolfo saying trade Kerr. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice idea. Look, the Pelicans, I'm going to read off a lot of names that represent the Pelicans roster, and then tell me what you think, because this doesn't resemble order. It resembles far more chaos to me. And I'll give you the names so you can tell me what you think. Jeremiah Fears, Zion Williams, Herb Jones, Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray. I think he's coming back. Jaden Springer, Yves Missy, who's also, side note, another really good big. It's I don't know how they're going to play all these guys. Jose Alvarado, Jordan Hawkins, who can shoot the lights out. Sadiq Bey, Trey Murphy III, Kevon Looney. Is there any rhyme or reason to this? Because it sounds just like picking 10 random dudes and just putting them together. Well, what's your take on that? Frank, I'll start with you.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it demands that you have a coach who has a vision, who particularly on offense, and
yes.
I mean,
yes,
I like their coach, but he doesn't strike me as an offensive wizard, and that's so it's unfortunate because they got talent, but they need structure. Yep. They need structure on and off the court, and it's unfortunate.
And I like Willie Green as a coach. I actually, I don't think coaching is the issue. I just think, what do you do with that? You know, I like, who are the best five on that team? Like, are the best five a good fit? There's a lot of questions there, man. Like, I don't know how you're going to get Jordan Poole 30 minutes a night. And is 30 minutes a night a justifiable number when you have those other players? Good luck, Willie Green, man. Good luck. Mark, any final thoughts on the Pelicans before we go back east?
Like we talked about, like Frank said, with offense or whatever, and I think it's more of a managing thing. Like you said, seeing the vision and knowing what you're asking out of your players, because you got so many guys who, play the same position. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, shared times basically their whole career or whatever, and there's never been a real decision on who is what. Because Herb Jones is a guy I really like. When we talk about playing hard and playing defense and that wins games or whatever, I think Herb Jones is a guy that can win you a few games or whatever. Just like,
yes, sir.
Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy. But it's really going to be figuring out, like, who am I playing right now? In these moments, who are on the court? If you question who those guys are, it's going to be a long season. But if like, all right, we're in this situation, this guy's playing. This guy's playing.
I real quickly got to give some love to Delete Me. They make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. And again, whether you're talking about protecting yourself, whether you're talking about erasing a digital footprint, that's what this service can do for you. And in this day and age, that's a hell of a service. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/pro and use the promo code PRO at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to deleteme.com/pro, enter the promo code PRO. One more time, deleteme.com/pro, use the promo code PRO, PRO. 5 more teams and we're done for the night. Frank, will you be able to join us to finish up next week?
Yeah, just give me a call.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so we'll finish up with our season preview next Tuesday, a 2-parter of the I80 crossover. We go back east to the Central Division, and we start with the Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that won 64 games last year. Let me repeat that, because that's a hell of a number. Yeah. 64 wins for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were 64-18. They made some moves this offseason, not a lot, but a few changes for the Cavs. That includes re-signing Sam Merrill. They added Lonzo Ball. I thought that was huge. Larry Nance Jr., Thomas Bryant. That's a very recent addition. This happened, I think, just within the last 24 hours. They lost Ty Jerome and they lost Isaac Okoro. 64 wins this year. The bookies are placing their over-under, again, courtesy of Fanduel. That's where we're getting all these lines from. The Cavaliers OU is 8 less than their total last year, 7.5 more specifically. 56.5 is Cleveland's over-under. Mark Haynes, I start with you, sir. And side note, in case people are unfamiliar, you can follow Mark Haynes on all social media platforms at Mark Haynes NBA. Again, the over-under 56.5 for Cleveland. What's your bet?
I'm gonna go over. I think this team is I think they're a really good team. I think they're built for the regular season, and I think when we seen them, how they got, Indiana knocked them out in the playoffs. I think that probably rubbed people the wrong way or whatever. But I think they, the moment was too big. I think they had an amazing season, a lot of talent, and I think the addition of, a healthy Lonzo Ball. And I think a guy like Evan Mobley is just going to keep getting better. He's one of, or if not the best two-way player in the NBA. Dude does things on both sides. Made all NBA team, made all defensive team. I expect him to be better this season. So I got him. I don't get him. I got him at 64. I got him at about 58. And what was it? So that's I'm
that's
going
over. Yeah, that's the over.
Yeah,
56.5 is the OU. And again, they won 64 last year. So even if you're predicting 58, that's still a 6-game drop from a year ago. Frank, the Cleveland Cavaliers, your thoughts?
I'm spot on with Mark's analysis. I think the coach is going to dial it down a little bit because he realizes chasing this number that doesn't mean anything got him smacked in the playoffs. So I think they're going to focus more on execution. It's part of the reason why they let Ty Jerome go, because he was out there gunning, trying to get his numbers up. He did. He got a contract. That's why they brought Lonzo in. I think Lonzo is a great addition. He's a good half-court player. We also got to look at a healthy and having him for a long season, DeAndre Hunter. Is really going to help them. So Cleveland is a solid team. I think they're a little better than Orlando. I think somewhere between 56 and 58 wins will be their number.
And those are both overs. I agree with you. I also think because that number is so low from what they accomplished a year ago, 56.5 compared to 64 wins last year, I think Lonzo Ball is an upgrade to Ty Jerome. In addition to everything you said, Frank, defense is another category that you get an upgrade with Lonzo. That's been my biggest critique always of Ty Jerome. Dude is a turnstile defensively, man. I've never seen him stay in front of the player he's assigned to ever. Like, he just literally watches dude go by every time, and yet he's getting big contracts. It's wild. So I look at the Cavaliers roster, just to name off some names. Max Strus, who, depending on the year, can be a really good player, but injuries usually play a big role in that. Lonzo, we mentioned. Evan Mobley. Mark, you emphasized Darius Garland, fantastic basketball player. I don't know much about Craig Porter Jr. Sam Merrill is on the team. DeAndre Hunter, you mentioned. Larry Nance Jr. they added. Jared Allen, an elite center in the NBA, is back with them as well. Dean Wade, underrated on this team. And, of course, Spida, Donovan Mitchell. And Kenny Atkins is the head coach. So we're all picking over, right? Is that the guess? Is that what we're going with?
Yep.
I think so. All right, 4 more teams. The Indiana Pacers next up. This is going to be a funky one because, as you all know, Tyrese Halliburton out for the year with that travesty, man. A Game 7 torn Achilles. Still heartbreaking just thinking about it. Some changes the team made this offseason. They re-signed Isaiah Jackson. They re-signed James Wiseman to a 2-year deal. They also added Jay Huff from the Memphis Grizzlies. They lost Miles Turner to the Milwaukee Bucks, and they lost Thomas Bryant. We'll start with you, Frank. OU for the Indiana Pacers this year, a team, again, that won 50 games last year. They had a slow start, a very hot finish. They're not going to have Tyrese Halliburton this coming season. And Fanduel has the line, if I could ever find it, set at, here it is, 37.5. Frank, your thoughts?
That's a tough number because I think that's probably where they're going to be. I don't see them winning half their games. Why? They don't want to win half their games. They want a high draft pick. So, they're probably going to win somewhere between 32 and 36. Yeah. But I don't think they get to 37.
Yeah.
Mark, your thoughts?
No, I'm just reiterating the same thing. Like, I don't see them getting above 37. I can see them around 32. They're in one of them situations where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to win a lot of games, and not to say they're gonna be throwing away games, but you're better off losing some games than trying to get above 37.
Yeah.
Here's why I think they're going to get above that number. I'm going to bet the over, and I'll tell you why, man. There's 2 primary reasons. One is coaching. Rick Carlisle's a great coach. I don't think he's going to be comfortable with a throwaway season, right? I know that ideally that's probably, if you're a Pacers fan, what you want. But look at the talent on this team, even without Tyrese Halliburton. Benedict Mathurin, who's effing awesome. Obi Toppin. Andrew Nembhard is back. They got TJ McConnell, who's Johnny Hustle. We have no idea what we're going to get with James Wiseman, but he might be motivated and he might surprise a lot of people. Isaiah Jackson's actually a good player. Ben Shepherd's a good player. Aaron Nesmith's a great player. They still have Pascal Siakam. And Jay Huff's he's a body, whatever. But to me, that represents more than 37.5. I could be totally wrong. I'm not feeling great about this, but I'll be the antithesis and say over. Any final thoughts from you folks? 3 more teams.
Yeah. All right.
We're almost there. I'm so thirsty. Any water? Milwaukee Bucks last year were 48 and 34. They had some moves this offseason. The Bucks, let me find them. There they are. They brought Thanasis Antetokounmpo back, which will make Giannis happy, and that does matter. They re-signed Chris Livingston, re-signed Kevin Porter Jr., re-signed Bobby Portis, re-signed Taurean Prince. Side note, I don't know how Taurean Prince did not cash in with a big check this offseason. That just goes to show you how salary capped most NBA teams were, because Taurean Prince was one of the league's leading three-point shooters last year, and he did not get a big paycheck. He can play. Ryan Rollins, former Warrior draft pick, got a 3-year deal. Jericho Sims came back. Gary Trent Jr. came back. The Milwaukee Bucks also added Cole Anthony, Amir Coffey, Gary Harris, and the biggest one, Miles Turner. Again, a year ago, they were 48 and 34. FanDuel lists their over-under for this coming season as... it's kind of low, 42.5. Mark, I forgot the order. I'm sorry, but I'll go with you first. Mark, 42.5 for the Milwaukee Bucks. That feels low to me. What do you think?
I think that's about spot on. I think I got them about 42. They brought in a lot of different names, and like with the addition of Miles Turner, which was a good thing when you thought about, but obviously Dame was, he was gonna be gone regardless. So like you're essentially just missing one of your star players, and I don't think they got better. So I can't go over that, but I think about 42 is going to be around. So what's that? The under?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm getting a technical under. I think 42 is spot on.
When I hear that, Mark, what I'm really hearing is don't bet on this. This is stay away.
This is a tough one.
What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, I think this is a tricky bet because they're going to be somewhere around there, 41, 42, 43, 44. I'm going to go over because I got to give Doc some, some credit, and I think that the way that they're constructed, they'll win a lot of home games. They'll lose some weird road games, but I think they'll win a lot of home games. They got a good home crowd, and they got an anchor inside. Miles Turner can play. The rookie from the Warriors, former rookie. What's the kid's name again?
Ryan Rollins.
I mean, I liked how he played last year. He might have a breakout year. So I think they'll win 43, 44, 45 games.
I'm going to go over as well, and I'm going to defer to the Eastern Conference yet again. It's pitiful. It ain't that hard to pile up wins in the East. And I'm also not going to forget Giannis Antetokounmpo is a force. He's one of this is a side question for you gentlemen, if you don't mind. Mark, I'll start with you. When Giannis Antetokounmpo's career is over, is he going to be a top 10 player, top 20, top 30? Where do you think he's going to finish in the annals of legacy and rankings?
I think he'll be for sure a top. He's a top 10 talent. But when it comes to actually putting him in the top 10, it's gonna come down to how many championships he could win. I mean, how many accolades. Which when it comes to titles, right now I don't see another one in the near future for the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's going to hurt him there as far as his legacy. But talent wise, I think he's something we've never seen before. He's one of one. Yeah, and I think he's a top 10 talent. But when you add the legacy, I don't think he's going to crack it.
Frank, what are your thoughts on Giannis and where he could end up?
Yeah, right now I would say he's going to be a top 20, top 25 player, and it disappoints me because he actually has more control than he thinks he does. Yeah. There's no reason why a guy with that ability should shoot under 75% from the free throw line. If he shot 75% from the free throw line, he would average 3 or 4 more points a game. Working on his mid-range. I mean, we watch great players continually get better throughout their career. his biggest asset is the guy has a tremendous work ethic and he has a will to win. And I respect it. But I don't see a devastating jump hook. There's so many different shots that if I was coaching him and training him, I think I can help him because physically he's one of the most talented players ever to walk the earth.
Yes, sir.
But skill-wise, he looks like a talented 5-star All-American in college sometimes, just dominating. But from a skill perspective, he should be better than he is, particularly free throws.
No, you're right.
I mean,
Frank, every time I see an example like Giannis, I just think about Rick Barry and how if these guys did not care so much about looks, right, they would be hitting 80% of their free throws. They would be scoring 3, 4 more points a game. Giannis is a perfect example of that, right? I mean, like,
absolutely.
What's his? I'm trying to find his free throw percentage from last year.
67, 68, dude, 66.
Dude, underhanded, that'd go up to 80. Easy. 90 maybe. It's
and it
crazy.
Takes him about what, 15 seconds to get one off.
Yeah. I mean, that just bothers me, man. I mean, because at some point he's gonna wake up like we all do, and he ain't gonna feel the same. You know, he's gonna go up for a dunk, and he's gonna have like a flat tire. And you're gonna be like, well, what the hell is happening, dude? You're gonna get on like everybody else. But if you're skilled,
this little bit bothers you. I like that. I can just picture you watching him shooting a free throw, going, God damn it! Like what? He's throwing shit in your house. I get it, dude. It is. It's annoying when he's just up there doing his spins and he's just like bending 10 times. And, like people are losing their shit. 2 more teams here, and we will call it a night. And we'll finish up with the second half next Tuesday. We're still in the Central Division. The Detroit Pistons last year 44-38. It was a coming out party for the Detroit Pistons. They looked good last year. They're a team that I enjoy.
Sorry to cut you off.
Cut me off.
But I don't know what it is, but I'm going over already. Whatever it is, I'm going over.
Well, we don't know what the OU is.
I don't care.
All right.
Over.
All right. Well, again, 44 wins last year. They re-signed Paul Reed. They added Javonte Green, Karis LeVert, and Duncan Robinson after who was their guy that is in trouble about gambling that they were supposed to re-sign? Beasley, Malik Beasley. Oh, poor guy. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he brought it on himself. I don't know. But they lost Simone Fontecchio. They lost Tim Hardaway Jr. They lost Dennis Schroeder to your Kings. And they lost Lindy Waters the third. The OU, which I'm now fascinated to check out because, as Mark Haynes said, no matter what it is, bet the over. Oh, I'm with you. I'm 1,000% with you. Okay. 46.5. Frank, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely over.
Easy.
That's.
I
mean, they're one of the few teams in the NBA that actually intimidate teams.
Yes.
So, I mean, so you know, hey man, let's go back to the 80s and the 90s.
Yes.
And that's the era that I grew up in. And you know, when you do that, I don't care if you get beat up. If you're willing to fight, then teams are going to respect you. And you know, they lost their guard last year. He's coming back. I mean, they lost Beasley. They're tough. They got one of the top 10 players in the league in Cade Cunningham, who is an excellent half-court player.
Him. Yeah.
This team might win Eastern Conference next year. That's how
they might. And Ozzer Thompson has another year under his belt. Jaden Ivey's back. Who's Jalen Duren, who I love as a burgeoning NBA big. I'm with you guys. I feel like 46.5 over is a lock. I mean, Mark, the way you're talking, man, that's guaranteed with the gong.
I will guarantee that. I'm with that because. Cade Cunningham, he's special. I remember, you know, his rookie season, his numbers wasn't really impressive, but when you watched how he played, it was like, man, no, he's a real point guard. He's a 6'6", big body point guard. It was players just missing shots.
Yep.
Now you surround him with guys who can make shots, and you see what type of year he had last year. I think he comes back and has an even better year there. And just how they're built, you know, like Jalen Duren and them, they got some big bodies. They got some tough guys, a Sir Thompson or whatever. They have that that bad boy type physicality. They're not big talkers, but they're they're bruisers. They're a bunch of big dudes who can play basketball, and I think they're a tough matchup for any opponent in the NBA because of that.
And some of their best players are so young, which means we're going to see an improvement there this coming season. Yeah, dude. Look, folks, we're giving you a guarantee here, right? Guaranteed. We got the gong. I mean, look, guaranteed. And if by some chance the Pistons don't cover, we're going to deny guaranteeing it. We're going to delete this episode and pretend it never happened. So, but put that down as a lock, man, and win some money, because I think that's an insanely good line. I know 46.5 is a high number, but the Pistons are good and they play in the East. Now, who isn't good are the Chicago Bulls, and that's who we're finishing up with. They were 39-43 last year. To me, they have the worst owner in the NBA, Jerry Reinsdorf. Talk about a fall from grace. The man who once oversaw the Michael Jordan dynasty now oversees the stereotypical frugalness of the worst NBA owners. The man is cheap. He's never once hit the luxury tax. His GM talks about mediocrity being acceptable. It's embarrassing. The Chicago Bulls, what they did this offseason, they re-signed Trey Jones, they re-signed Josh Giddey, they added Isaac Okoro, and they lost Lonzo Ball. Last year, again, 39 wins. I don't know how they reached 39, probably because they're in the East. That's another reason why Detroit over is a lock. If Chicago can get 39 wins, yeah, Detroit's going to get over 46.5. And Fanduel, we wrap up with this line, has the Bulls at 32.5 this year. Frank, we'll start with you, sir. 32.5 for the mediocre Chicago Bulls. Your thoughts?
Now I must say I am biased, right? Billy's my guy. Billy
Donovan.
Billy's my high school point guard. Billy and I played together in high school.
Oh, wow.
Shut the F up.
Yeah.
I feel good about not trashing him. Okay, that's I didn't mention his name.
Now, listen. Billy is too good a coach not to win more than 32 games. The only way they don't win 32 games is if, they say, Bill, turn the gas down, because he is a phenomenal offensive coach. And if you can construct an offense, the Bulls have one of the best offenses in the NBA. They have one of the highest pace rates in the NBA. So he understands how to get players in position to be successful. What that does, it gets you to about half your games. They can win somewhere between 40 to 42 games. That's a lot more than 32. So that's an easy bet to me.
Wow,
because they're so good offensively. They're not that talented. Defensively, they don't have any anchors. But offensively, they're going to please their fan base. Kobe White's going to put up 20 a game. Josh is going to put big numbers up. And you'll have some of these auxiliary guys who also show up. So, pick your.
You convinced me, man. Mark, what are your thoughts on the Bulls?
Nah, that's what I was listening to. I'm going over. I'm not going to the 40s, but what was the line was 32.
32.5. That is low. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving them about 35. It's the Eastern Conference. You got Billy Donovan, who's a great coach over there. Kobe Jones, I really like Kobe Jones, offensively and stuff. But I think 35 I think that's pretty easy, actually.
Yeah.
Did Billy Donovan and when you guys played together in college, was it college, right, or high school? I'm sorry.
High school.
High school. Did he have that V hairline back then too?
He did.
That's great. That's one of a kind, dude. I don't know what
you know what? His dad, Mr. D, had the same haircut. And
shit.
It's funny because that's why I went to the ceremony. You know what I'm saying? So we're hanging out and talking, and it was awesome, man. I mean, we should go over each other's houses. I mean, he's a real friend. He's not a celebrity friend. We actually are boys. So
good stuff. Good
To
stuff.
see him accomplish, his goals and his dreams, and we're still normal. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So there we go. We all picked over and on the Chicago Bulls, and that wraps up part one. We'll be back at this next week. Frank, any final thoughts? It was great to have you, man. This was a pleasure, and we'll have you one more time at least next week. I'm sure during the season, I'll invite you on for some post game shows as well. But Good to see you. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to promote? I'll get your banner back up.
Well, listen, I didn't have any expectations, and this show exceeded my wildest dreams. It was so much fun to hang out with you. I mean, to get an opportunity to get to know Mark and get his takes and know that he's holding it down up in SAC. Talking to your wonderful fan base. This is a pleasure, man. I look forward to doing it down the road. Thank you.
Of course, brother. We'll see you next week. Mark, any final thoughts as we wrap up Bleav in Kings and Golden Days?
Yeah, you know, when it comes to sports, man, this is my favorite day of the week. You know, get to hang out with you guys and talk with you. It's been a pleasure. And, I'm looking forward to next week, man. Hopefully next week we'll have a media day to talk about. We'll be able to talk about all 9 of the Golden State Warrior players.
Frank, man, what do you think? I've been talking about this on the show exhaustively at this point, man, because, but there's nothing else to discuss. Right. The fact that the danger of this carrying over into day 1 of training camp is wild, dude. Like, I'm curious to know what the deadline is that the Warriors themselves have put, because they have to have a date and a time and place where they're thinking to themselves, all right, we're blinking. Like we pushed this kid to the very end. We tested his patience. We're doing Fortune 500 negotiating here, and he's holding his own, and we give in. But I imagine there's a date and time they've set to make that kind of, acquiescence, if you will. But the fact that we've gone this long, brother, this is insane. Well, how do you think this plays out?
I think September 30th, around 11:45 at night, you get a phone call, and they'll be like, listen, okay, how are you mentally? Are you locked in? Do you understand we're trying to win a championship? Okay, you have your player option. We're going to sign you to a 3-year deal, and you got a player option. Let's get it. Let's go.
I don't think they're going to give him that player option. I think my guess is it'll just be a guaranteed 3rd year because Joel Lacob has said repeatedly he doesn't want to give that player option either, and I don't blame him because Kuminga could bounce in 2 years. But if you guarantee that 3rd year, at least Kuminga knows he's got the financial security locked down. That would be my guess for how this plays out. Is that yeah.
Well, no, the only thing I'm saying is it's like because that's logical. I totally agree with you. But man, everybody think Curry's going to go off into the sunset. He's not. As long as Stephen Curry is playing as well as he's playing, why would Stephen walk away from $60 million? Stephen Curry's going to be here until he's 40 years old. Yeah. He might play in the Olympics. And guess what? Steve Kerr's going to make somewhere between 15 and 20 million. He ain't going nowhere. So Kuminga's like, I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
Mark, anything you want to promote before we go?
No, man. Just follow me at Mark Haynes NBA. You can follow my YouTube, The Closers Sports. Type in The Closers, you'll find us, and all the content we're putting out. But this was another great show.
Any stories coming out soon for the SAC Observer?
Yeah, I actually sat down with Scott Perry recently, and that will be coming out pretty soon. We talked about a lot about his background and who he is and what type of team and organization he's trying to build and bring to Sacramento. So had a real good conversation with him, and I'm excited about that. Thank you for asking.
Of course, dude. So follow Mark on social media at Mark Haynes NBA. I'm guessing you'll tweet that story out when it's published. Is it just for print? Like, did you also get an interview where we can hear it or see it?
Well, no, it'll just be print. It'll be digital.
Cool.
We wasn't able to do it on camera.
That's great, man. I'm looking forward to that.
He's from Detroit, bro.
He I've been following him for 30 some odd years. He got a connection with Jalen Rose, and this is a real dude, man. This is a real guy. Been around forever. Oh, he's a real guy.
Him, BJ Armstrong, good friends. So they have plans here in Sac. So I think I think Sacramento did a good job in bringing them in, and it's a situation that's gonna take some time to clean up. I've on my pod I talked about it. I compared it to washing dishes or whatever. Back in the day we used to have wash everything with your hand, and now kids think because you got a dishwasher You just throw the dishes. They dirty, got food all on it. They throw the dishes in the dishwasher and turn the machine on. But that ain't how you do it. You got to rinse it off first. You got to get it clean or whatever before you throw it in there. And that's why I was like, Scott Perry right now, I think he's rinsing the dishes off and getting ready to throw them.
Are you saying that? Are you saying his predecessor there would be chunks of food on the dish?
Yeah, he get rid of them chunks.
Like a piece of cheese that just would not come off the plate.
Yeah, like next year it might be him putting it in the dishwasher, but right now he's just scrubbing it, getting the food particles off.
Dude, you know some people are like your kids, like adults who do the same thing. They're like,
yeah,
who cares? This cheese is clean. Like, because I always say cheese because that's what sticks. I feel like more than anything, if you don't rinse it off, like peanut butter is another good one. Yeah, you got to rinse those dishes. So, Frank, do you rinse your dishes off before you put them in the dishwasher?
I don't have a dishwasher, so I wash all mine.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, man, I know. I'm in the Stone Ages here.
That's the only objection I have to that is the amount of time it takes to wash dishes by hand, dude. Like, buy one of those portable ones, you know,
right.
Save yourself those hours, bro, or at least, an hour or whatever. Anyways, maybe it's therapeutic for you. Some people actually feel more relaxed when they wash dishes. Do you feel better about yourself?
I'm kind of a nerd in a lot of ways. So I wash dishes. Exactly, I am. I wash dishes listening to Marketplace on NPR. It takes about 27 to 30 minutes for me to listen to get all my financial news.
I like that, dude.
From Kai Rizdal, and I sit there and wash my dishes and eat my dinner, man.
I like that. This is a good plan. You're multitasking. I respect that.
Absolutely.
Getting smarter and you're being productive. It's maturity. I like it. All right, gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Everybody, have a great night. Are we done?
We're done.
We're done.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Right.
Take care.